complain we're not getting out. Oh, now we're going. Okay. Welcome to Indian Time.
Hi, I'm Gary Fife.
I'm Jared Moore. And
face you don't often see in front of the camera.
Yeah, always pressing the buttons. Sorry about the late start, everybody. You know, we're having some internet issues down here, so our stream was kind of wonky. We had to lower the quality a little bit to get out, but we're out now. We should be out now. So
I think it's pretty good that we actually do this kind of thing. As I said before, no one else that I know of does.
Oh, yeah, sure, absolutely. So we're going to go down the stream lineup for today. Do you want to handle the first topic, Gary?
Well, I understand that Chief Lloyd has granted an interview updating our viewers on the situation regarding the health budget and other challenges he's facing. I am just amazed that the guy has tackled a problem like that. Now, since then, we've gotten some information on what the problems are. There was some response from former Principal Chief George Tiger, but it wasn't with us. He did it with the Muscogee online news folks there, so puzzling to me.
And what I've been hearing too from citizens on that particular story in retrospect is apparently Muscogee News Network, I haven't checked it today, but apparently they took that interview down, so that post is not available anymore on their site. I don't know why, but I was approached by a citizen just yesterday, and they were asking me, where did that go? And I was like, well, that's not, we're not affiliated with that site in any way, so I don't know where it could go, why they took it down, or if it's been taken down even. So that's something to keep an eye out for, because it's referenced a lot, in our coverage. Chief Floyd's interview, is up on the MuscogeeMedia.com right now, and we provided all of the questions for that interview to the PR office before the interview was conducted, specifically because we wanted to actually speak to some of the officials that were in the positions or have taken over the positions since the administration changed, to get specific answers on things, because Chief Floyd, he doesn't have encyclopedic knowledge of everything within the whole health system, et cetera, et cetera. He is a very knowledgeable man. But, there were, my understanding is that the interview, there were some questions that Chief couldn't answer, and we're going to keep following up on that. But the other thing that was posted on the site today was the weekly update. And the weekly update this week, we wanted to try to get something up on this, because as part of our health coverage, we had citizens reporting that they were receiving bills for services that were provided at the Muscogee Hospital emergency room and other places in the Muscogee Hospital. So as part of checking into that, what we found is that there's some information that's vital. If you are a citizen and you received any services at the Muscogee Hospital after the tribe started operating, you need to look on your bill and click the weekly update and watch it, because we show you exactly what you need to do, because at least one of those citizens in this situation, if you go to the weekly update, they've had their bill waived through that. So we're still trying to work out why bills were sent out, or what happens after if the citizen doesn't call the phone number on the bill. What happens to the bill? Does it go into collections, or like what's the process? Because
now normally these would have been handled through contract care, right?
Well, that's the question about this, and we wanted to get something up for the citizens just to give them a heads up on if they are receiving a bill, and what they can do because it has a contact number on it. We haven't actually got any information on the back end of that as far as why these bills are coming to citizens. Now, I can tell you for sure, in at least one instance, a citizen called the number on the bill and was put in touch with the billing department at the hospital, and after providing verification of citizenship, that bill was waived. So at least in one specific instance, and then there's another citizen that we're in contact with that they aren't for sure whether their bill has been waived yet, but they were told that it would be waived if they provided certain paperwork, and they provided that paperwork. So that's where we're at on that particular thing. We didn't want to make any determinations without any information yet. So, but it is something, if you have a bill from the Muscogee Hospital, or the I'm trying to remember the terminology that's on it. It's in the weekly update. You should just check it out if you have a bill in your mail. This will tell you exactly what to do to get information on it if you're a tribal citizen. It's not just Creek citizens, it's for all tribes. So check it out.
Right, that's a tough one there. Where are we at in our lineup here? Muscogee Radio?
Yeah.
Well, we've had a busy couple of weeks down at 1240 The Brew. This is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and we had a nice discussion on that. Well, I'm not sure that the term nice is correct there. But we had an in-depth talk with staff members there about the situation. Tanya Barden came on and filled us in on where the tribe was, what we're doing. I think she felt like they were encouraged by the numbers of people choosing to use their services and report in, and not leave this issue, a topic, this problem in the dark anymore. So that's good. And the nice thing was she talked about their strategy. Where are they going with this? Now, we've been talking for months and years about look for the warning signs and this kind of thing. If you're in a potentially abusive relationship, or there is something there in a one-on-one with someone that could potentially end up with a case of sexual assault. Now they're looking at telling the men, not to do it, pure and simple. It's like, you have to respect our Native American women and all women in the community. And it's not just a matter of anymore of, oh, well, this is the way I was raised and this is the way we did it. And that's not acceptable anymore. And I think from our discussion, I was warmed, I believe, by the thought that we are seeing change. There are more people who are standing up and saying, no, this has to end, taking steps to do it, making reports if they have to the appropriate authorities. And I think there's progress there, although there's still quite a mountain to climb there. I'm pleased by what she was.
Yeah, it's a difficult situation for victims of the abuse, and really everybody, law enforcement included, because of the rural locations and delays in reporting time from the incident happening, and sometimes victims wait before they come in and everything else. And part of the coverage that we've been running on that specific issue is the same program and everything. So we've seen there are a lot of advancements that are happening to provide services, and then they're also trying to conduct a campaign to get people to utilize the services when it happens, and also the whole campaign for frown power on the actual act itself, so that the societal pressures will start trying to reduce those numbers down.
Also on that particular show, now that was back on the 6th of April, we talked about us, Muscogee Media, and its changes to ourselves, all of the new programs such as this in social media, which is over my head a lot of times. But I think it's pretty cool that we're appearing now with new opportunities, faster contact in our means of relaying information, such as Chief Lloyd's interview. That's just great, and we took some time to kind of figure out how to get in touch with it for folks who aren't there. One thing I'm really pleased with. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, the shows that Gary's referring to are all on the website now, and Muscogee Radio has a YouTube channel where if you want to go and catch the episodes that Gary's talking about that happened in the past, they're going to be archiving Muscogee Radio there. And you could also leave comments in those videos specifically for Gary or the Muscogee Radio staff, questions or anything else, and Gary will get to them on upcoming shows. So even if you can't catch him on the radio on Wednesdays at, is it 10 or 10:30?
Wednesdays at 10 a.m.
So if you can't catch it on the radio here Wednesdays at 10 a.m., you can always go to the website and catch the most recent episode that's been uploaded there, and also you could go to his YouTube channel. This is one of the things I wanted to touch on too that I don't think we have yet is all of our YouTube videos. So when you go to our website and you click on a post, you'll see the little video in the post. If you click on the name of the video that appears in that video, it will take you to our YouTube channel, and that's where you can leave comments for the specific YouTube channel. You can also leave comments on our post. Now, if you want to see higher resolution versions of any of the videos or anything like that, the embeds that we do on our webpage are, I think they're 300 by whatever, 300 by 600 or something like that. They're lower resolution. If you click that title, you can also go to YouTube and turn the quality up to maximum if you want to catch it on HD, for instance. If you are using a Chromecast or anything like that to sling the video to your TV and you want to watch it on your TV in HD as opposed to watch it in your phone's browser in the lower resolution, that's what you would want to do. So
it's so nice for that material to be there. And we'll put in a word, we do want your feedback. That's helped guide us. It tells us how well we're doing, gives us some new ideas on coverage and things, and maybe where we can tighten something up. So it is important for you to share your thoughts and let us know. I mean, if you don't like something, well, let us know. I think we've got thick hides, but we think that's important for us to give us proper directions.
Absolutely. And if you have any questions that you would like to see specifically answered on the stream, you can send an email to jmoore@muscogeemedia.com, and that's spelled MVSKOKEMEDIA.com, and we'll go through those. And you can even send the email live while we're doing the stream, and we'll answer it. And you can go to our YouTube page and go into the YouTube chat and post questions in the chat. We'll answer them live there. So the stream, that's one of the things with the stream is when we have breaking news, we're going to put it in the stream. Anything that happens on the day, we're going to put it in the stream. And if we have a topic that we think citizens might want to make some active comment or have a discussion with us as the news organization live, come to the stream, and that's where we'll do it. So.
All right. Also on that particular show, we talked about the Earth Day event coming up this Friday on the 22nd. This will be the second annual Earth Day sponsored by our own Department of Environmental Services. Now, James Williams came on to the show and talked about why they do it, why it's important, and where, times, all the logistical information. But I think it's great that our own people, our own tribe, is taking at least this much effort, and they'll be primarily working on Highway 56, I believe.
Yeah.
The loop going from around
Yep.
the Travel Plaza area all the way up through the College of the Muscogee Nation, so working that area. So that part of our town will be treated to a little housekeeping there. So it's so good for us to be able to do that. He talked about the services that are still being offered at the recycling center. You might want to get a hold of them. They take a lot of stuff to be recycled, but there are some specifics that they don't do. And leave your furniture at home, and garbage, I mean, that's not the place to take it. So that was a nice discussion there. We also, in the next program on the 20th, we finished up our chat with James Pepper Henry, who is the executive director of the Gilcrease Museum. And in this episode, he talked about the changes that they're going to be making. For me, I thought it was kind of groundbreaking for him to kind of get an admission that museum world had been pretty kind of elitist in the past. With we kind of jokingly put it as a bunch of rich white people who ran a museum and did this sort of thing. But he said that is changing. They want to become more engaged with local tribes and the communities, with Tulsa, with the Muscogee Creek Nation, the Cherokee Nation, and the Osage, since they all come together right there in Tulsa. So that was a nice eye-opening discussion with him.
I think that'd be a good move for the Gilcrease, especially with grants and funding that they could possibly get from tribal entities, or trying to bring in more, people to go through the museum on the weekends or whatever. Like trying to appeal to the ethnic diversity that's in downtown Tulsa and really all through Tulsa now. So, you were mentioning on the previous stream that he's looking at bringing more Latina or Latino artists into the thing for instance, Frida Kahlo, they're going to have Frida Kahlos in there.
Yeah. I think he put it as something like being in Tulsa's community room and
Right.
becoming more involved there and not such a ivory tower kind of thing, which
Right.
you know, a lot of museums get that reputation, but he wants to be more.
Well, generally, too, you're seeing that trend all over different museums and community centers that have, a art historical thing in the community. They're trying to shift more towards like active living arts or community arts, et cetera, et cetera.
Right. So we were pleased with that. Coming up, we'll be talking with.
Breaking news, guys. We
What's
won
up?
the Carter Bradley Freedom Award.
Oh, hey.
Oh, hey.
There we go. It's a great announcement. Do we have anything to read?
The
No.
Carter,
The
Carter Bradley Freedom Award.
Is Jason still logged in on his Facebook over there?
let's find out.
Go to my page and it is shared on there.
Wow.
Now, that award is from the Native American Journalists Association.
Society of Professional
Society.
Journalists.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, his email is here.
Even bigger.
Got it.
My God.
Is this it?
No.
No.
Just go to Facebook on the browser.
All right. I can do that.
You might still be logged in. That'll be
Wow.
easy.
So, give us a rundown for the audience, Sterling, since you're right here. What is the
Type in my name. He'll have me there.
history that you know
Well,
of this award? Is it a prominent award or?
yeah, it is. You could actually see what
this it?
information is there. Yep.
Yep,
that's
here it is. All right. Hey, Devaney, could you pop that up? If you will click the number 2 on the green bar.
Now, the
Nope.
society,
Yeah, lower one.
The Society of Professional
then hit auto.
Journalists is one of the major journalism organizations and supported in the nation.
Yep, that's right. This
Let's
it was
go.
for our free press bill. This is the big National Journalists Association. Now this is the Oklahoma chapter, but nonetheless, there's some big names if you look at the award winners this year locally in Oklahoma City and Tulsa. So we're going to be receiving it April 30th on Saturday. So I don't know what your guys' plans are, but I was already looking at showing up.
That's great.
Well, I think I can get all cleaned and polished for that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is that
Marvelous.
that wouldn't be an open event to the public, would it? It's a
I'm not sure.
Normally, these are sort of closed
Yeah, yeah.
banquet type affairs.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't see the.
We used
Well,
to laugh in the
congratulations to us.
Yes.
Yay.
So
Well, it
yeah.
makes me feel proud that we could be recognized like that, and
sure.
hopefully,
Well, the tribe really, like our tribe is what, the 3rd or 4th nationally, or
Yeah, I hear anywhere from 4th to 7th, so it is. It's a big accomplishment for the
click auto.
nation, and that's really what it's about. We were just kind of helped to usher it in at the right place at the right time when they were ready for it, and stuck to our guns.
it's the Navajos have freedom of the press in their constitution.
Yeah.
The Cherokee Nation pretty well instituted it. About a year and a half ago?
Oh
something like
man,
that?
it's been several years.
Yeah.
And the Osages.
Yeah.
And just to kind of give our viewers an idea of how important this is, the Osage newspaper used their freedom of the press in dealing with a tribal chairman who was eventually ousted for things he shouldn't have been doing. And it wouldn't have happened without freedom of the press. We hope that our viewers and listeners and readers are noticing the difference in coverage. We are now, I like to say, we have a harder edge in many of the material we put out now,
and we couldn't have done it without the help and the support and the backing of citizens. We had several citizens that came forward and helped us in the government, in the community, etc. So,
council, yeah.
And just because legislation gets passed for freedom of the press, it's not the end of the situation, because inevitably, as we saw with the Cherokee Nation and other places, that at some point someone will try to, either in the government, in the legislative branch, executive branch, etc., will try to impinge on that freedom. And so citizens need to keep your ears perked up and if we hear anything like that's going to try to stop us from reporting the news to you or the truth to you, the information, we're going to let you know who's doing what and what's happening, you know, but it's ultimately going to fall on the citizens with their vote about how they can control what information they get or what information they don't get. So,
And now that's as I've written before, a heavy responsibility for us to take on.
We got a comment, Devaney?
Yeah,
What's-
they said seating is available for purchase, I do believe.
all right, seating is
Wonderful.
available
Well,
for
there
purchase.
we go. Someone's
Yeah.
lying.
Do we have the location or no?
It's in Oklahoma City or Midwest City. I know that.
Oh, is it the
much.
Cowboy Hall of Fame?
I don't think so. Sorry, I just
that's
got
a
this, so I
big-
would have
big-
come a little more prepared.
Well,
yeah, you know.
you know what we'll probably do is by the end of the day tomorrow we'll try to get something together video wise or update wise so that we can let citizens know if they want to attend this. I guess it's a gala or an award ceremony, whatever it is, to be a part of this, because you know, like, not only is it the journalists that are getting the award, but it's also the entire nation that's getting the award. You know, so it was and is a group effort, and it's going to be a group effort for as long as it exists. So
Right. I remember that Black Friday when we all remained in the office. We were the only ones that were in Muscogee media at the
Yeah,
time.
most people's point of reference might be a Voices of Courage post. Apart from that, we tried to make it look like nothing was going on and went on with our coverage that day.
yeah, well, we did what we were supposed to do. We published the story, regardless of whatever types of tactics were being used against us. We just barreled ahead, and we had infrastructure in place that you know, the administration or whoever was responsible for whatever happened couldn't stop us from publishing the story because they didn't have control over the outlet that we were using. So that's one of the great things about it. So, but
Phew, makes it feel like it was all worthwhile.
Yeah, it was,
yeah.
What, you and I, Gary, in September, standing up, sandwiched between the two powers that be, not sure where this road was going to take us.
Yeah.
Well, I think my phrase was stick my neck out.
yeah,
And it's so wonderful to see this kind of thing happen because freedom of the press has been such an issue among Native Americans nationally for decades.
Yeah.
And for a tribe to actually have it come to fruition, it just does my heart wonders.
yeah.
And we're trying to take the momentum as much as we can while we still are kind of hot news and encourage other tribal nations to do the same and talk with their media staffs or if their leadership is interested. This is a good thing, folks. I mean, I know that our headlines have been more negative than they were, but I've noticed the environment overall has been positive because it's really taken the potency out of the rumor mill.
Well, that amount of negativity, I think, was due to a backlog.
Yeah,
A lot of
course.
stuff had been brewing for quite a long time, and finally we just sort of got to release it and kind of get it out there and get it moving, get it to the people who need to know. We do try very hard to balance that, though,
Yeah.
with the positive kind of
The
coverage.
first few editions, of course, you're talking about 30 some odd years of modern government anyhow. Without it, of course, there's going to be some catching up to do. But overall, it's a positive thing. I think that it's kind of an exercise in catharsis that we're all having this conversation together on the same platforms. And it seems to have had a positive result regardless.
Well, I think if you're a citizen and you haven't been involved in the internal machinations of the tribe, internal governmental machinations, then, you know, a lot of the stories would appear to be negative. But if you are someone who's participated in the government a lot, you have been seeing this stuff and seeing what different things that have been happening that there is no way before freedom of the press for that information to get to citizens. And that, for all of those people, you know, like, that the all of our coverage that we've been doing is great because they're like, finally, you know, like some of these stories are being told and some of the things that people are doing are being shown, you know, and even if it's an indirect result of the freedom of the press, it's a good deal because you know, if the stuff that we run now seems negative, it's only because it hasn't, like we were saying, hasn't been run. You know, and if it had been covered from the start, then citizens would have been able to have their input. But most of the things that we're covering right now are things that developed before citizens would have information before they could, you know, anything would go through council or anything would go through the executive branch. The citizens wouldn't have any way to have any information about it. So it's that was guaranteed to be unbiased information. So that's one of the things about it is, you know, we hear that a lot, the term, you know, the headlines are negative, but, you know, I don't think they're negative.
Yeah.
I think it's all positive.
Yeah, it is truthful and honest, and sometimes, you know, we need to hear that sort of thing. I remember the old Pogo cartoon strip. Remember that one?
Right.
So, we have met
the enemy and he is us. Yeah. So,
but if we can get that material out there, at least our citizens will be informed, and they can make their own decisions about it and make their voices heard to the people who need to hear
yeah,
it.
your true friend will tell you the truth.
Yeah.
You know, even if it's an unflattering truth to you, your friend will tell you the truth.
Right.
So. But on that note, Earth Day, the Earth Day cleanup event, this is the last thing.
Okay, that's Friday, April the 22nd. Now that registration begins at the College of the Muscogee Nation at noon, and then they will be out on the Highway 56 to
Yeah, if you haven't ever been to the event, so in the parking lot of the college, there'll be a pop-up tent, and you can just show up. And I think last year they gave T-shirts to people that signed up, so you
Right.
could get in, get a free T-shirt. You'll get assigned to a team, and then the teams will go up and down the side of the highway and just pick up trash and stuff. At 3 o'clock, everybody will go back to the recycling center, and there'll be hot dogs and hamburgers for everybody that participated, and I think everybody, you know. But if you show up and you didn't pick up any trash, and you're just trying to get a hot dog and a hamburger, that's more about your own conscience than it is about Earth Day.
Couple final things. First of all, if you want to come out and volunteer for this cleanup, leave the kids at home. They do not want anyone under 18 out on those highways, just for protection of the children. Kid could, you know, they could dash out in the middle of the street, or some driver might not be paying attention, so leave them at home. And second, if you haven't registered, you better get it on, because according to Mr. Williams, they had 100 T-shirts ready to go,
I see.
but they already had 43 of them spoken for.
Oh, okay. Well,
There you are.
there's still a good amount of T-shirts there, so you
Okay.
could get in 57 T-shirts.
Yeah, it's the season for them. Okay, that does it for me.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us on the Indian time for Thursday, 4/21. We'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, DDR1 there, Devaney. There you go. All right.
Yeah.
Now hold on. Let me.
Oh, cool.